Everybody, how is it going? Back here in MX versus ATV Legends for this video, and I'm going to be checking out the Dog Pound, which is the Lawrence Brothers practice facility, and I think it might be Chad Reed's old place. I'm not quite sure. I'm not really in the know on what's going on with the Pro Riders compounds, but I know Reed's place was in Florida, and this looks like Florida, but Reed's place had a go-kart track, so this place does as well. But yeah, this is the Dog Pound. Don't know where that name comes from. I didn't even know that the Lawrence Brothers had a facility named the Dog Pound. Not too much in the loop when it comes to the details, like the training facility names. But you can see the clay Supercross track over there. You've got the sand Supercross track right there. Then you've got the national track, and then there's a turn track and also an FMX little play area over there in the distance. But for this video, I'm going to be riding the special bikes on the Supercross tracks and on the outdoor national track. So we're going to throw the 50 on one of the Supercross tracks, the 110 on the other Supercross track, and then the 500 on the national track. But the 500 is also going to touch the Supercross tracks as well. So I'm going to be getting a lot of 500 time in this video. But I haven't ridden any of these bikes in videos because a lot's changed with this game since I last played it for a video. So I'm really excited to check this out and see what the Dog Pound is it's all about. The 50 out here on the clay Supercross track. They call it the red Supercross track, which I find a little interesting. You got the red and the white instead of the clay and the sand like they did with the Stewart compound. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what it's called. It's just a name. And I think that the Dog Pound is the goofiest name for a training facility. I had no idea that this place was even called the Dog Pound. I think it'd be better if it was like LTF or Lawrence Training Facility. I feel like that is a better name. I feel like Dog Pound is not the coolest name. Who cares what I think though, really? It's not my facility, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I don't know where the Dog Pound name came from. Maybe it has like a cool backstory that they're like dogs or something. I really have no idea. But yeah, that's what this place is called. Again, it's a name. It really doesn't matter what it's called because a couple cool Supercross tracks out here, and also a national track. It's funny how the whoops are like a rhythm section on this bike. But I do like the scaling of this track. It definitely is a little bit bigger scaled, and even on the 500, you'll see what I'm talking about. As far as like the height of the jumps, I feel like it's a little bit more peaked. These sections are, and the jumps in these sections are a little bit more peaked compared to the stock Supercross tracks. Man, that is a huck on this bike. But the width feels pretty nice. Oh no. It's a struggle to get through these rhythm sections on these small bikes. I think it's cool that they added these special bikes, I guess you can call them, the 50, the 110, and the 500, because the pit bikes in Untamed were super fun to ride. So I'm glad they brought back the small bikes. I think it'd be sick if they had a Super Mini in the game, because I don't think any game has ever had an actual Super Mini directly in the game, not like a mod or anything. So I think that would be cool. And Super Minis are fast enough to where it would be really fun on some of the tracks in this game. You could hit a lot of the jumps. The 50 is just, it's definitely on the slower side of things. It has some nice bottom end though. You get up and over some of these jumps. Man. I'm about to switch over to the 500 after I finish this lap. I do want to try and hit the finish line on this bike though. Oh, just absolutely railed that corner. They have updated the physics in this game a little bit as well, the suspension. That they've done a lot of updates. That was sick, triple on. But yeah, they've done a lot of updates. And I like the direction this game's heading. I mean, I already liked this game before, but they keep making this thing better. Alright, let's see what the 500's like out here. 500 in this game rips. It is so fast. But it definitely feels heavier than the other big bikes. Like it doesn't, in the air, you can really notice it. because the thing feels a little bit more sluggish. It's not as not as nimble in the air as the 250s or 450s. Oh man, going off track. So you got to really make sure this thing's pointed in the direction you want to go, because it's really difficult to control once you're going. This thing, it wants to continue going in the direction that it's headed. It's not really good at changing directions quickly. So it definitely feels a little bit heavier. Man, this game, dude, I'm telling you guys, this game is sick. They know that there are things they need to still work on. The sounds, for one, really need some work. But I mean, dude, the game looks good. It plays good. You just gotta figure out how to play it. And it's an arcade motocross game. It's not supposed to be realistic. Oh, see? Didn't want to turn right there. One thing that I noticed about the Supercross tracks here at this compound is that there are no Supercross triples, which is an interesting approach, because most practice tracks have a finish line jump and at least one Supercross triple and a whoop section. I mean, they try and make the practice tracks pretty much the same as what you're going to get on race day, but this track does not have any Supercross triples, and I think it's a different way to look at it when it comes to building a practice track, but I think it's smart, because the Supercross triple is the Supercross triple. Like, these guys hit that thing on lap 1, it's automatic. They can hit the Supercross triple in their sleep. But rhythm sections, if you think about a Supercross track, you're going to spend more time in a rhythm section really than any other jump section. You're not going to have more whoops than rhythm sections. You're not going to have more Supercross triples than rhythm sections. You're not going to have more finish line jumps than rhythm sections. Like, the rhythm section is the biggest chunk of the track, maybe outside of the corners, but even then, like, probably in the rhythm section more than you're in a corner. So that's what they really focused on with these practice tracks. It's a ton of rhythm sections. You've got your finish line jump on each track, but they put whoops and rhythm sections out here because those are the two sections outside of corners, which you're going to have on every Supercross track. But whoops and rhythm sections is where you're going to spend the majority of your time. It's you don't need to practice hitting Supercross triples when you're a pro rider that can just automatically hit Supercross triples. And the outdoor track, when I get to that, it's also built in an interesting way for pro riders, which I think is again something they really thought about when building this facility, is kind of thinking outside the box with track design and really focusing on the areas that matter the most when it comes to racing Supercross and motocross. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I thought I was gonna have a good run through there. Nothing bad. On-offs work a lot better on this bike than the 50. There we go. That was a decent lap. All right, let's go ride the 110 over at the white track. So here I am on the 110, and I do like this bike a little bit better than the 50. I say that as I completely case that jump and get stuck on it. But I do like this bike a little bit better because it's got a little bit more juice, and you can shift gears. So being able to shift gears helps a ton. Just accelerating out of corners and getting a little bit of extra bottom end, where the 50 is just one gear. Dude, I just hit a triple out of a corner on a Supercross track on a 110. You can see this track is quite a bit different than the clay track over there, mainly because it's sand and the way that the jumps are already kind of like pre-broken down. It has a completely different way to ride. Dude, that was horrible. I want to see if I can hit that jump. But you have to find the areas where you might have a little bit more jump to give you a little more pop. The on-offs you can see are a little bit more beat down. So, and the corners also, they're a little bit more rough. So it has a different feel, which is pretty cool. Man, riding Supercross on these bikes is not a piece of cake. And notice this track, same thing. Not a single Supercross triple on it. It's just rhythm sections and whoops. Got a wall jump right here that I hit really slow. Third gear. That'll get the finish line on the 110. Yeah. Alright, let's see if I can beat this ghost lap here. Oh, I think, is that on the 500? It just looks like it's on the small bike. Oh, definitely on the 500. I think. The way that my guy hit the whoops, I don't think I could hit the whoops on this bike like that. So I know I did a fast lap. I say a fast lap, but I know I did my best lap on a 500 on this track. I don't know, that might be a 110 line up there. Just really slow in these rhythm sections. It's hard on this little bike. Ah, tried to get that jump. Okay, I guess you know what? There are two jumps that are like finish line jumps on this track, so I guess you could say one of those would be a Supercross triple. The finish line jump is, that's another jump that's just automatic for these guys. Dude, I suck on this thing out here. I'm down a ton right there. Still managed to get over it though. Yeah, it says my best lap is a 112 and I'm turning mid 130s right now. So I think that might be a 500 lap. Just the ghost looks like he's riding a 110. Oh, dude, I should have clicked third right there. Screwed up the whole section. Man, I suck on this bike here. Alright, on the beast out here. Yeah, there we go. So, the ghost has changed. I guess the ghost, yeah. That lap that I was trying to keep up with on the 110 definitely was the 500 lap. Yeah, because it's a 112 up there in the upper left, so that's funny. I guess whatever bike you're riding is what bike the Ghost Rider's on, regardless of what bike you turn your fast lap with. Dude, this thing is so mean. Just hit that section like a whoop section. Oh, man. Still had the power to at least land up on top. Screwed that rhythm section up. This bike is so fun to ride. I don't know how fun it would be to race because, like I said earlier, it definitely feels like a tank. This thing is heavy as hell, but but it's really fast. I want to get that triple right there. Dude, that was a super sloppy lap. Man, not sure how I got the speed to clear that jump. Actually, I do know how. It's a 500. What is that line? What am I doing? These loops right here, you have got to carry some speed into those things if you want to get across the top. There we go, triple single. Triple on table. Oh my god. Dude, so bad. Get a good lap on this bike. Like a decent one. Doesn't have to be like stupid fast or anything, but I want to try and get a clean one at least. These rhythms though, I am really struggling with. There we go. There's a line. Yeah. Oh, that was a sick rhythm. Probably last time I'll be able to do that. That triple's gonna be so tough. Just getting the lift off the first one out of the corner is gonna be really difficult. Alright, let's see if I can turn a somewhat clean lap here. With the max deformation on the terrain, track gets pretty beat up. Especially the sand track. That's an alternate line. I gotta remember you have to brake a little bit earlier on this bike, just because again, it's so heavy that that if you don't brake early enough, you're just gonna blow right through the corner. Oh, dude, triple from the inside. Oh, I'm so sketchy right now. You know, got a little out of hand there in that last rhythm section, but this lap's not too bad. Ah, I cased that triple. Screwed that section up. Let's see if I can get this triple right here. Oh, definitely not. Oh, my ghost is right there. All right. It's my fastest lap so far, a 1:12. Which really doesn't beat my last fast lap by much. Out here on the national track, and I think this track is super fun on this bike. It's not fun on the 50 or 110 because those bikes are just so small that the acceleration and braking bumps turn into whoops or rollers. And those bikes also, they're just not fast enough to ride a track like this and have fun. You feel like you're going nowhere even though you're holding it wide open, which can be fun in some of the corners, especially on the 50, just because that thing sounds like it's just absolutely ripping around the outside, holding it wide open. But the 500 for sure is the most fun of the 3 special bikes on this track because it's just high speed. You got big jump. Oh, you really don't have big jumps, and that's actually the point that I was going to bring up. But yeah, it's just a really high speed, fun track. I swear I hear my baby sometimes. He's sleeping in the room next to me, and he sleeps through the video making. But I mean, he can wake up randomly sometimes, so I feel like I hear him. Ooh, I got slowed down for that corner. I did not think I was gonna make it. But this track, like how the Supercross tracks really don't have Supercross triples. They have finish line jumps, but they don't have Supercross triples. This track doesn't really have any big jumps, which I think, again, is interesting because the Lawrence brothers, they're so good and they're so fast that they don't need to practice hitting big jumps. I mean, it's nice to have some jumps out here, but just hitting super dangerous, massive jumps is, you know, probably not the focus of their training. They want to train on rough tracks because the majority of a lap on a motocross track is spent on the ground. So if you're going to work on anything, you're going to work on the thing that applies more directly or what you do most on race day, and that's racing on the ground. They don't need to have just massive jumps everywhere. It's just kind of a waste of time for them, I would assume. Again, I don't know, but this is just kind of my assumption here. Because this track doesn't have any big jumps on it. You don't have any massive triples. It's just got tabletops, doubles, and you've got rollers, and the track is rough, which, again, if you look at the amount of time during a lap on a motocross track, more time than not you're spent on the ground. So, or it's, dude, I can't speak, man. Not making videos for a while has me all messed up. Most of the lap time spent on the ground is what I'm trying to say. So I just find it interesting that they really seem to have thought about that with their track designs, to focus on the thing that's going to translate the most to race day. Because if you put a triple in front of any pro rider, they're going to hit it. Like, they don't need to practice hitting a triple to show up to race day and hit a triple. But when it comes to carrying their speed on the ground, you know, that's really where it's going to show on race day, because everyone's hitting the triple. You know, and you got to go the same speed to hit the triple. So you're not really going to gain on anyone there. But the corner before and after the jump, yeah, that's where you're going to make up your time. So it really seems like the Lawrence brothers focused on the most important things when it comes to improving their lap times. So you're not going to get any big sins out here, but it is a really cool high-speed track that has a lot of turns and is somewhat rough. It's definitely not too crazy rough, but with the terrain deformation turned all the way up, it does get slightly beat up. This is a cool corner right here. It's kind of like a backward screw you. Oh, nasty on that scrub hill. This section right here on the little bikes is pretty hectic. Just because they're so slow. You're pretty much just bouncing through those rollers and not really going very fast on the smaller bikes. Oh, it's bogging down right there in a second. Yo, this is sick. Oh, I just went off the track there. Be quick through the rollers, even though I got super sketchy getting into them. Too bad. Do one more lap out here. This is cool though. This DLC is it's really good. I mean, if you're into the compound thing, if you want, you know, a crazy track to ride, this is not it. But if you want something realistic, you know, more realistic, it is MX versus ATV after all. But I think they do, man, I really do. I think they do a great job at MX versus ATV. They really put a lot of time and attention into their game, and I think it's really starting to show. It's cool to see how far this game's come since they released it, because it really has. It's come a long way, so I'm excited to see what else they end up adding, because it's starting to feel really good. No, it's not MX Bikes, it's not MX Simulator, it's MX versus ATV, man. Like, so many people get caught up in just bashing this game. Like, yeah, the sounds, they need some work. They do, but they know, MX vs ATV knows they're continuing to work on it. It's a slow process. Not everything's overnight, but, oh man, can I make this corner? Oh, sick. There we go. That's some MX versus ATV for you. But you see, I didn't get out of the corner good at all because I jumped so far into it, and my ghost caught up to me. Which that ghost lap right there took the outside line. So, I mean, it's pretty cool how you can make mistakes. You can do some cool stuff like I did jump into that corner, but really, for a fast lap, that wasn't any faster. As cool as it wasn't any faster. So, I think their terrain deformation is pretty solid. I enjoy it, man. I'm going to keep playing this game. I'm going to keep making videos on it. I think this game's really fun, and I like what they're doing. Man, the rollers on the 500 are sweet, so you can just bulldog through there. That rev limiter's, they gotta fix that soon. I was hoping I would catch the ghost there, but not quite. Still a decent lap. Thank you guys so much for checking this video out. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you got Legends, I suggest picking up this DLC. This thing's sick. But anyway, until next time, I guess I'll see you guys then. I don't know.